So as we, delve into this, as we end up getting more involved politically, I think it's important for you all to know that. So, we also saw some, some posts out there wondering about, is this an official Meet the Candidates? Is this an official event? It's official to us. Absolutely, it's official. Okay. Understand that the police department and its members of the association, which by the way is about 95%, takes up 61% of the city's budget. So it's important that people have to hear what we have to say. And one of the topics that we recently found out, and I want to put this out there, this is very important for y'all to know. Whether you're a citizen, a business owner, an elected official, or somebody who's running for a position, we recently submitted an open records request because I was curious to know how many people have separated, how many employees have separated from the city of Converse in the last 5.5 years. Anybody want to take a guess on how many people have separated from the city in the last 5.5 years? Now, this includes people that have been terminated, resigned, discharged. We even have a couple of people end of watch. 261 employees in the last 5.5 years have separated from this city. If that doesn't raise any red flags, I don't know what will. What's also important to know is that of those 261 employees that have separated, 216 have been resignations out of those 261. That tells you we can't keep people. Now we can go down these rabbit holes and try to figure out why. I think people can guess, right? Are things getting better? They're getting a little better here and there, absolutely. And we will give credit where credit is due. But it costs a lot of money, as y'all very well know, to hire and train new employees. So it's just as important to retain those employees, whether it's the fire department, the police department, public works, grounds, all employees. It's important to make sure we're hanging on to them and treating them right. So just wanted to put that out there. 261 employees, that's a lot. That's too many in 5.5 years. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, this is our first ever Meet the Candidate event. It's more of a town hall. We have every intention of this being an informative event. We have every intention of this also being a friendly event. If there's not going to be any personal attacks here. If people start attacking others, if it gets to the point to where people are just blurting things out and arguing and being unprofessional, you will be asked to leave. If you don't leave, us being the police department, trust me, you're going to want to leave, I promise you. But again, I don't anticipate any of that. I know the majority of you in here, y'all are professionals. So, let's act accordingly. And again, the way this is going to go, if y'all haven't submitted your questions, you should have had an index card to write down a couple of questions, which are going to be asked of these individuals sitting up here. We're going to allow them an opportunity to basically have a 3-minute opening statement, and then we will get started with those questions. It's going to be random on how we select who gets what question, okay? So if you haven't turned in your cards, if you would just raise your hand and we'll have this young lady or gentleman come pick up those cards. Okay. Would anybody care to maybe start this event with an opening prayer? Yeah. Ms. Deborah? Is that okay?
Folks, take your hats off, please. Thank you.
Would you bow your heads, please? Most holy and gracious Father, we come today as a group of candidates to answer these people's questions and to let them draw their conclusion on who they will cast their vote for. Let each and every one of us up here be fair to each other as candidates. Let our hearts be kind and gracious and good. We ask that you be with each and every one of us, candidates up here and people in the audience. I ask for a blessing for each and every one this week, that you be with them. In your precious son, Jesus' name, amen.
So as we get started here, I also want to make it perfectly clear that we have invited everybody who's currently sitting on council and mayor. We also have invited those that are running for council and for mayor. And so we have invited everyone with the exception of, and we were having a hard time trying to get a hold of Mr. Stacy Adams. I could pretty much find anyone, but obviously I can't use police resources for something like this. But I ended up going to his last known address as well, and I still haven't been able to find him. So I just want to make that perfectly clear. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to have 2 moderators for this event. We're going to have these gentlemen could come on up here, and I'm going to introduce them, or I'll have them introduce themselves. And then if we could also have our Judson volunteers come up, and I'm just going to basically have you guys introduce yourself as to who you are, and then we'll go from there, and we'll get started.
Hello, I'm Sebastian Bernard. I'm the Judson Explorer Program Captain. It is my 2nd year of this program, my 2nd full year, and I'm hoping for a good year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ilse Cordero, and I am the lieutenant of the Criminal Justice Program at Judson, and this is my 3rd year here.
Hi, thank you guys for coming. My name is David Krolowitz. I'm with the Texas Municipal Police Association. We're a statewide organization that helps out police, fire, and EMS throughout the state of Texas. We're going to be helping assist moderate with this, and this is my partner.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Joey Sepulveda, and I also work for TMPA. Just so y'all know, we both, my partner and I, we're both law enforcement. We're both retired, so we're not just anybody. Real quick, before we start, there are going to be a couple of rules, and I'll let Eric say, but if y'all want to grab some drinks and food so we won't kind of interrupt the candidates when they speak, y'all are more than welcome to.
So what we're going to do, the way we're going to do this is we're going to have our Judson volunteers select a card from the basket that they have there. They're going to hand it to either to Curly or to Joey, and they're ultimately going to decide which questions to ask. Don't want to be, accused of being, have any favoritism or anything like that. So it's going to be random, and again, they're going to select on who gets to go first and second and so forth. So they'll have up to 3 minutes to answer the same question. And what either Joey or Curly will do is they'll end up basically, when it comes down to the last 30 seconds, they'll remind you and let you know that there's 30 seconds left for your response. If you don't need the full 3 minutes, that's fine. We'll just move on. Okay. So again, let's keep it professional. Let's keep it civil. No yelling, no interrupting. Again, you'll have 3 minutes to answer each question all the way through, and it'll be the one question for each candidate. Any questions from the candidates? Ms. Clark? No? Perfect, so we'll get started.
All right, real quick, we're going to tip off about 2 minutes. Who is keeping the time, real quick? What do we have? Okay. So when
Let me recognize 2 council members really quick. Oh, sure. So they kind of got here early as they should. Ms. Sylvia Meyer with Converse City Council. So hello. And here, you want to introduce your friend? That's how
Hello.
girl.
Hello.
And they're both with Converse City Council.
first question should be for y'all. Yeah. So we're gonna go down the line, and y'all got 3 minutes to go ahead and introduce yourselves, say why you want to to run for council or for one for the seat and what seat you're running for, okay?
Hello, my name is Stephanie Gonzalez. I am running for place 1. I would first like to thank all of you for coming and thank POA for putting this on this event. I am not good at speaking. In the past few years, I have serviced my community by being a Indiana patrolman for the state. While with them, I was honored with the ability to work for the governor of Indiana at his home, at his residence for him and his family. I went on to be a paralegal. And I would really like to put all of that experience to work for city council and with city council to service my community here. I've been here for 9 years, and I would like to see more transparency and interactions with people who live here like myself, because this community is supposed to be about us working together as a community. And there seems to be very little of that actually happening. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out on this Sunday afternoon, and thank you for the Converse POA for putting on this event. I'm Cassandra Leon. I am definitely a new resident here. I have been here for a little under 2 years. And yes, while that's a short time, I understand in a short time, it's been long enough for me to see the disconnect between the people in Converse and those that lead us at the head. I myself am not a politician. I do not claim to be one. I am just a regular citizen. I am a mom, a wife, a small business owner, and a homeowner here in Converse. I moved here and I chose Converse because it has that small town feel, but it has that big town access and the amenities that would entertain our children. However, I feel like that disconnect between the community is leaving more to be desired. And instead of taking myself to social media, I decided to put myself at the forefront and join city council, or run for city council. Coming from an honest heart and an open mind, I know I have a lot to learn. I will stumble, I will fall, but I am here to learn, and I am here to do right by our community and our city. I know it won't just be me making decisions, it's a team effort. But I'm here for the community. And I really appreciate your time and thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, citizens. I'm thankful that you are all here today. I just want to thank the Converse POA for putting on this event. I know it's the first one, and I see a lot of people out here. And thank you for coming to this and helping them put this event on. I know it's very important to them. And it gives you, the citizens, the chance to meet each and every one of us candidates and ask your question to us, and that we may answer truthfully what we need to. I am a wife of a veteran who served the United States Air Force. I am a mother of 3 boys, 1 girl. I am a grandmother of 9 children, and I am a great-grandmother of 6 children, 6 grandchildren. Very proud of everybody. With that being over, my name is Deborah James, and I'm running for mayor of Converse. I first sat on the seat and was elected to council place 3 in 2013 to 2015. Then I ran for place 6 and I was elected from 2016 to 2018. And then place 2, which was
2019 to 2023. I know, I'm sorry, y'all. I will not miss my education. What's important to me right now today is the concern of the city and you, the citizen. If you want to know my education, I'll be more than willing to talk with you later, but my concern is y'all. I am running on a pretty extensive record with 6-1 council that I've been a part of because we all have done these things together for the greater of your city. I would like the opportunity to help council move this.
Sorry.
Move this city forward. There are numerous issues that we need. Safety, overall appearances, parks, neighborhood roads, sidewalks, community participation, etc. I feel that it's important to be involved with council and the citizens. I would like to see a citizen advisory committee that would be made up of 6 citizens to go out the city and talk with council on issues that need to be addressed. Secondly, set up a town hall meeting where you, the citizens, can find out what projects will be coming to our city. These are just some of the issues facing our city. I would like to be able to accomplish that not only with being a mayor, but with council. Let's all unite and make this city one that we know we can stand up and be proud of, and people want to come. Thank you.
Happy Sunday, Team Converse. My name is Michael Meyer. My wife is City Council Member Sylvia Trevino Meyer. My education and background comes directly from New England, from the University of Maine. I've also done several trainings under the Rudy Giuliani Company in New York on how to manage and train people. I'm actually a teacher in San Marcos for Gary Job Corps. And in short, my job is to teach reading and math to students that really don't want to get a high school education. It's my job to get their education for them, to help them, to give them the tools to say, hey, look, a high school education is important and here's why. So yeah, happy Sunday, Team Converse. As a resident of Converse since February of 2008, I have seen minimal improvement in the overall services provided by the upper level administrators within the city of Converse. My message is not long, but my message is simple. Okay? When I get elected for Place 1 Converse City Council in November, I'll be working diligently with all the members of Converse City Council and future elect Mayor Deborah James. All right, and I'm going to create a structured plan to bring back safety, security, and quality of leadership back to this city. Folks, if we don't have safety and security for people, for residents, for guests, for our business owners, we can build on one thing. We can build on nothing. Okay, so keep that in mind. Team Converse, once again, my plan of action will only become active and ongoing with the help and support of each and every one of you listening to my message. Safety and security of all residents, guests, taxpayers, and business owners is what I need to prioritize first, because without a structured safety and security plan, new businesses will refuse to set up shop, and existing businesses will be surviving on a weekly and daily basis. Okay. Team Converse, I have an idea to put into action, and that idea is to provide affordable housing and rental units for law enforcement, EMS, mental health workers, fire prevention workers, nurses' aides, public school teachers, and public school employees, as well as 911 workers. I will put this idea into action using the services of both an independent land developer as well as an independent financing company that is located directly in North Texas. Team Converse, I am here to provide unconditional support for those that want my help as well as those that need my help. But the only way I can help make anything happen is through your help and the help of everyone affiliated with the City of Converse. I need volunteers, I need retirees, I need everyone. Team Converse, turn to the person on your left and say, Mr. Meyer needs your vote. Turn to the person on your right and say, Mr. Meyer.
Thank you.
My name is Chris Clark. I'm running for Place 5 Council. I will proudly say this is the first time that I'm allowed to say I am a father of a child running. I'm also a son, a husband, a crazy kid that likes to go have fun. But with everyone that's been speaking up here tonight, it's kind of hard to just rematch of what they would say. So I'm going to go with one point that I would like to harness on and just go further and hope we can go further in the future. Is something that Eric brought up, is 216 resignations is not acceptable. And one of those is something that we were able to just recently pass on budget with help from all council members, is to make sure that our employees are taken care of. Without the employees, the citizens have no hope. It's as simple as that. Multiple things, safety, making sure that our police officers are taking care of us, first responders, EMS. And it even goes down to the utility workers, whenever they make sure that our roads are taken care of, so that way we can drive safe. But other than everything that everyone else has said, that's the only thing that I would push further on. Vote for me. Thank you.
For candidates, when you get asked a question, what I'll do is I'll give you the 1 minute warning that you have a 1 minute left, and I'll give you a 3 minute warning, or I'm sorry, 30-second warning. So you'll understand 1 minute, 30 seconds, and then Joey's going to come in. This away from you. Awesome. Okay.
I'll start with you on this side, and then we're gonna go, and the next following question after everybody's answered, start on this side, and then we'll come to you, then to you, and then it'll be you. So everybody will be fair, okay? Everybody knows. Okay, first question. What are your plans for growth for Converse? And this includes everything to include restaurants, fast foods, businesses, and also public safety.
I would love to see an outreach, make them, citizens have more input into what's coming in business-wise and what their needs are, more so than just taking contracts as they are. As if for the first company that comes in. We have plenty of gas stations and car washes. I think it's time that we have more family-oriented things. Splash pads, put things towards our children. Things that families that are going to be here come back and put their roots down after they leave for the military. Come back to Converse, want to be here. Those things are important because families are important. And that's something we really, really lack.
Okay. Keep going down, yeah. And then the next question that comes about, it'll be starting on that.
Yes. For me, for growth, I definitely feel like there's a lacking of different types of food industry here, for sure. We have a lot of fast food. I would like to see some restaurants. We have the neighborhood Walmart, but I would also like to see an health foods kind of stores in our neighborhood as well. I drive all the way to San Antonio at the very top to go to natural groceries or Whole Foods. It'd be nice to have something more local to Converse. As the safety aspect of it, I think that as we grow, we have to make sure that our safety system grows consecutively with it at the same time, so that we're not outgrowing our safety personnel and they're not overwhelmed and bombarded at the same time. I would also like to see more community events where we get our community members involved, just like the Parks and Recs events we've been having the car show, the Fall Fest and stuff like that.
and possibly a rec center for our teams to have a place to go instead of just sitting at home doing nothing. So that would be my growth ideas to start.
Sir, can you repeat that question so we down the line can hear it again, please?
What are your plans for the growth for Converse? To include restaurants, fast foods, different businesses, and also for public safety?
Okay, as I specified earlier, we as a city need to come together. I know when I was on council, I went to a number of restaurants, very nice restaurants. Undoubtedly, it did not come to pass. I think we need very good restaurants, not fast food. I am just really tired of fast foods. And if it takes all of us rallying to go talk to these restaurants, then it needs to be. I have rallied for the past 4 or 5 years about a splash pad. I take my grandchildren over to Universal City or Selma, and they make all this money off of us for getting food. If we have one, then our residents are going to stay here with their children and buy food here. Our taxes go up, then that makes the city prosper more and more. The more things we get in here, the better it's going to take the burden off we, the taxpayers, the citizens that pay taxes here. Let's get this and help do the burden. Safety. Safety is my main concern in the city. We have grown fast, very fast. And we need to take a look, if it's to talk with the police department and figure out what strategies we need to do to get these people to feel safe in the city, then we do it. We do whatever we can to make these citizens here feel comfortable. And it relies on each and every one of us, all of us participating together to bring this city up. Because I do know that people say, well, I don't want to go to Converse. We're going to make Converse where they want to come. We need to make Converse, hey, we want to go move there. Look what they've done. I just know that we need to do these things. Thank you.
Team Converse, it's plain and simple for me. We have to bring safety and security first before we move forward. One step at a time, weeks at a time, days at a time. Okay, many are asking for something that's health food related. I am all for a health food related brick and mortar establishment. Absolutely, Trader Joe's, stuff like that. My angle is a little bit different. My angle is to go to businesses like Walmart, like Rams down here, even Isabel's, and to say, hey, look, what do you think? You all have been here in business for a long time, and you're still here. What would you like to see? Okay, I think that is important, is to get the input of the brick and mortar people that have been here for very long. Have them put their input in. Have a forum just for them to let them say what they want to say to raise their concerns. But anything health food related, I'm all for. We have way too many fast food. I mean, way too many fast food. Okay, so keep that in mind, people. Also, I do want to see for the students, I want to do a program like they do on Fox, where Gordon Ramsay works with these high school students on how to cook. Okay, Gordon Ramsay does numbers and numbers of things that in terms of taking actual health food and showing these students how to cook. Now, he has a very odd way of doing it, but it does work. So my philosophy is work with the students, work with the school board, work with people that want to at least hear what I have to say.
For this question, I break it down into 3 parts. First and foremost, we need to let EDC do their job, make sure that they have the resources available to them throughout the city council. As far as businesses, I would absolutely agree with the panel. There's too many fast food restaurants. I would like to see homegrown small businesses pop up. But again, that's up to the EDC. Second part, I would say, as far as growth physically within the annexation, the state has already given that obligation to the citizens to be voted into. I would only, during that time, give the people the proper or the right information that is needed for growth. I just don't want them to be lied to. I know Converse is an amazing city, so we can convince them easily. And the final part is the public safety. It's kind of hard with public safety because we have to go by studies, especially with census, how many people we have within the city. The more we grow, the more officers we need, the more first responders, and even utilities and grounds, and everyone within the city. So as we're growing, we need to unilaterally grow with our employees. And to push again from the beginning, we need to keep those employees, because the longer that we have them, the more knowledge that they have, and we can continue to grow within knowledge base.
Hold on to the mic. Everybody can hear me, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Maybe.
I got that voice. All right, so the next question. Why don't we have a senior community center in Converse? We need a YMCA and a senior center. I currently go to Shirts Senior Center and YMCA to exercise.
I do believe we have a couple here. One is directly.
I'm just asking don't shoot the messenger, okay?
No, I understand. The one that I for sure know about is the one across the street from the city hall. If somebody is not giving me that information, I'd love to get in touch with you after this to make sure that you're getting the right information. YMCA, I believe they also have YMCA in that same event hall. I'm sorry, it's on the elder assistant living. I hope that answers the question.
You want to hold on to that? I'm sorry, do that
Yes, we have a couple of elder assisting living. If we need more, I would absolutely agree to have more.
Okay, Team Converse, my angle is going to be a little bit different on this again. Right now, with the economy being the way it is, we work with what we have, okay? And this is my breakdown on that. Right now on FX 78, we still have the Gold's Gym, which is technically still in San Antonio, but it's close to Converse. We develop a plan where Converse pays X amount of dollars. We make a plan so that we make it affordable, we streamline it. Instead of waiting for something that's brick and mortar related, we work with Gold's Gym. Also, I just noticed that we have a Planet Fitness, which is like right nearby. We also, we work with them. They're very close by. They're within earshot of downtown Converse and pretty much not far from 1604. So my take on that is start small and work with Gold's Gym, work with Planet Fitness. Let's streamline something that is affordable for each and every person that wants to make the move towards fitness and health.
We do have 2 senior citizens. You're sitting in one right now, GRASP. I have been a part of GRASP for the past 15 years. I was a PR for them and helped them. We have one across from City Hall. It is new. It is new, and there are hiccups that are going through to try and make it good and better and to give service. Now, YMCA, here it comes down to we as council need to work with EDC. EDC is your Economic Development Corporation here in Converse. And if we cannot help them to get this done, then we just as well as roll up. Because they are a major part in our city. If we can go to them, I'm sure if they had the funds, they would help us. But we need to, as council, go and look for grants. There are all kinds of grants out there, and we need to look at them that can be given to our city to help us. I don't know about YMCA. I don't know how they function. I've never went to them, But I'm sure now that the citizen that asked this question, we're gonna go ask, because we do need a YMCA. A YMCA does more than just fitness. It does participation in youth, seniors, middle-aged people, all kinds of things. And we do need a YMCA, very much. And that's when it comes together. Citizens and council, again, I express, need to come together with EDC, and let's accomplish this in our city. Thank you.
How do I top that? I mean, she's right. We do have the 2 senior centers in the area, but I most definitely 100% love to see a YMCA. As a kid that grew up, I went to YMCA. I did the swimming classes and all their programs as a child. So I would love to also look into bringing YMCA to Converse, because that would be a great addition to our senior citizens, not only, but our youth as well.
I have 4 children that completed school with Judson ISD. And I have one still currently in school with Judson ISD. I know the shortfalls of not having those activities. I have to go across the other side of San Antonio for them. A YMCA would be a godsend, not just for a senior citizen, but for families. And again, we're back to needing something for families. So, and it stretches all the way across generational gaps. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I know.
All right, this is a good question. What is the biggest challenge for Converse that affects our citizens? And if you're elected, how would you change it?
It goes back to the community being more involved. I feel like our community needs to be more involved and give more input in what y'all want to grow in Converse, what y'all need. We can't, as a council, just be making decisions without your guys' best interest in mind and knowing exactly what you guys need. So I feel like community involvement definitely needs to be a big priority in reaching out to everybody in the city in order to make decisions for you.
It's about growth, sir. Is that what you asked about, growth?
Yes, what is the biggest challenge for Converse that affects our citizens? And if you're elected, how will you change that?
Well, that's a good question. I sit on council, as everybody knows, on annexation. I was against annexation. Nobody asked me why, because we grew too fast. Our biggest expectation for Converse is to move, but move wisely. We need to grow, yes we do. We need lots of things here. We need restaurants. I would love to see 24-hour emergency service here, a little hospital here, because we don't have anything here and we have to go either to Bamsey or to Northeast. That growth, being growth, need those kind of things, but we need to be wise about it on how we grow this city. We just can't bring everything in at one time. Rome was not built in one day. Remember that.
2 days.
It was built in 2 days. Excuse me. Rome was not built in 2 days. I stand corrected. But we as citizens need to stand up and get things involved together. It's very important for our city to bring things, but grow wisely. Because if you grow too fast, you're going to run into trouble. You're going to run into trouble with safety, fire, EMS can't handle it. Police department can't handle it. We can't handle the streets. Too many people coming in. We won't be able to handle it. We will overpopulate ourselves and our budget will shrink. So we need to grow wisely. Thank you for your time.
Team Converse, thank you once again. Team Converse, for me, it's pretty simple. We need to bring back 911 to the city of Converse. Enough is enough with this, hello, it's Bear County, and you're put on hold, okay? Mayor Phil Harberger, who in the past, who worked with San Antonio very diligently and ran San Antonio like a well-oiled machine, made sure that didn't happen again, okay? My plan for Converse is to bring not only transportation, not transparency, but communication and even job sharing. And what I mean by that is if we need to borrow 911 people from Schertz, Selma, even New Braunfels, okay, that will come and say, hey, can you cover this for 911? Can you help these people? You know, it just seems like the 911 operators are just not, they're overwhelmed. And that's not okay. That's not okay for me. We need to go back to basics and bring 911 where it belongs, right here in Converse.
All of these are good answers, and it's hard to be one of the last ones to answer this, but I'll touch on bases that I've touched before. It's, in my opinion, the biggest challenge for Converse is retaining employees. Rounded up already 216 resignations in 5.5 years. If that's not a big telltale sign of what is. And again, I'll reiterate, to bring this is to make sure that we have a plan to make sure that our employees are having a fair wage increase, or make sure that we don't get gapped or get outran by other cities or counties for our first responders to go somewhere that has a better pay.
What is the biggest challenge for Converse that affects our citizens? If you're elected, how do you change?
There's so many answers to this that have already been given that I'm not sure I've been taught. I would like to see consistency with our police personnel to be able to remain on the job so that every bit of growth is met safely. The roads, I would love to see that accomplished. The roads, I know we'd all love to see that come to an end and be completed. At this point, the growth of the city, there's just so many needs and so many different perspectives. But again, it has to come from the citizens of what they want to see. And that's something we don't get enough of feedback and don't get enough information. And if we grow too fast, we again fail you. And we don't want to do that.
Next question. Do you think we need a term limit here in Converse?
Team Converse, my answer is plain and simple on that. The answer is an absolutely yes. We need term limits on mayoral candidates. We need term limits on everyone in city council to keep people with fresh and diligent ideas. So my answer, absolutely, positively. Bringing in new ideas. Now that doesn't mean if somebody, let's say for example, if somebody doesn't win and been there for a long time, they can still help. I mean, that'd be great to volunteer and to help the new people come in. So, but having a fresh set of eyes, a fresh set of ideas is a perfect example for what Converse needs.
Great answer again. I would go a little bit further. Yes, term limits is perfectly fine if that's what the will of the people dictate. But if we do the term limits, let's make sure it's proper, because not many of us in Converse are running. You see the same faces up here almost every year. If we do a term limit, I would say it should have a contingency of that individual to come back. Basically give the individuals of the city a breather, and then you can rerun.
I don't think you'll find anybody that doesn't agree with term limits or necessity. You know, after a while, we get stale in our seats, we get stale in our ideas, and I think it's a perfect idea to have term limits.
I also am in 100% agreement with term limits. And I really do agree with Chris that we should have that open to come back, because not everybody does run, but it also gives time for a breather and a refresh and a mental state change for the ones that have been on the panel, on the council, or in the mayor's position for a while. So I'm 100% agree with Chris on that one.
Yes, I do believe in term limits, but let me explain to you, when I first came on council in 2013, I was 2013 and 2015. It takes you a good 2 years to learn the system of the city. It takes that. Now, if it's a 6-year term limit, then that's fine. But as I agree with Cassandra and Chris, a lot of people don't want to stand up and run. You know, people say, well, I need this done and that. Well, would you like to run? No, I ain't gonna run. With the exception that you can't get nobody to run on that seat, then you will